Hey everybody. Now, you see the title of the video, and it does make you think about that question. Of course, you know by the reports you've heard that AEW is currently working on, and according to reports recently, is in progress, if not in the final closing moments, of acquiring a television deal for the company. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is on the verge of acquiring, possibly, could be announced as of right now, maybe, at the rally in Jacksonville, Florida, I should say. The site of SmackDown Live tonight. So, expect to hear a lot of AEW chants throughout the night. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of stick it to WWE. But anyway, again, you've probably heard the rumors. The reports, I should say, and basically how, as of right now, or as of today, maybe within the next few hours, like I said, as of right now, maybe, that during the rally for AEW, and mostly their event, Double or Nothing, that there's a good chance they can announce a television deal has been done. A television deal is a done deal. That basically they have a television partner, to showcase their show, which could be called Tuesday Night Dynamite. We're not really sure. Now, with that said, the major word going around about possible television deal is with Time Warner, like I mentioned. I think I mentioned it. And Time Warner, the last time they ever had anything to do with wrestling was WCW, and that was when Time Warner and AOL merged, and basically the people back then said, no, we don't want wrestling on our schedule. We don't want wrestling on our channels at all. Now, of course, that was 18 years ago, almost 2 decades ago. So, the thought process would be that a lot has changed. And the Khan family, I should say, Khan, the Khan family, has some, I guess you could say, some leeway to try to make a possible deal with Time Warner happen. But the question would be, if Time Warner agrees, and according to some reports it looks like that might be the case, if Time Warner agrees, the question is, who gets the AEW show? Who gets the possible Tuesday Night Dynamite, if that's the name of the show, and the night that we may have AEW wrestling? Who gets it? What channel out of the Turner family gets it? Does TBS get it? Does TNT get it? Both have had significant success with wrestling programs in the past. When it came to WCW Saturday Night and WCW Main Event, and that's TBS, and that's basically TBS that had those shows. They also had Thunder, WCW Thunder on TBS on Wednesday and Thursday nights. And of course, you can't forget Monday Nitro, which was a TNT flagship show for that network, especially during the Monday Night Wars. So the question is, which one of the two gets it? I would assume that they're going to go with the network, because both are widely available to everybody out there. Anybody that's got a cable system or DirecTV or Dish Network has TNT or they have TBS. So there's no way they cannot miss something from AEW. But the question is, who would have the wider scope? Who would have the wider range? Who's looked at as more of a sporting outlet for Turner, or not Turner, but for Time Warner than anybody else? What channel is looked at as being the more watched out of the two? That's the question a lot of people have to look at. And I would assume that that channel that gets chosen out of these two will be the one that gets the AEW show, if Time Warner agrees. Now, if Time Warner agrees, my personal thought is they're going to go with TNT. Hear me out. They're going to look at the backlot. They're going to go off the reputation and the history of the fact that when WCW had Monday Nitro on TNT, a lot of people tuned into that. A lot of people did tune into WCW Saturday Night and Thunder. But it was Nitro that was the one show that people watched the most, and thus it gave TNT the biggest viewership on Monday nights and sometimes Tuesday nights when they had to hold it on Tuesday nights, and they did. So the question's going. So the answer, in my opinion, sorry about that. The answer, in my opinion, as to what channel I think out of the two is going to be the most likely one to get AEW, I think it's going to be TNT. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If it ends up being TBS or even someone completely different, I'm wrong. But I don't think so. I think, honestly, TNT is going to be the one that gets AEW and gets the Tuesday Night Dynamite show, if that's the show they go, if that's the name they go with. Now, if they go this route, the question is, what will be the time slot? Well, first of all, they won't have no competition to go up against, if that's what a lot of fans are hoping for, because quite honestly, by the time this goes down, SmackDown will be probably already on the verge of going to Fox. I mean, they're Fox bound in October. So by the time AEW probably gets everything set up and ready to go, they're not going to have a show to go up against. Now, you might think, well, what if they get it up and going in September, maybe late August? Well, if that happens, then yeah, for about a month and a half, or a month and a quarter, if you will, or a month and a third, whatever you want to look at, yeah, they will have competition to go up against, at least for a little over a month and maybe 1 week. I would say a little over, what is it, about, I'd say 5-6 weeks they'd have competition between the two shows, and that would be about it. Because by the time October comes around this year, Fox is going to have SmackDown, so there won't be no more competition. However, there will be plenty of wrestling, and this is a true alternative for the wrestling fans. Now, you might say, well, isn't SmackDown going to have competition anyway with Impact on Pursuit and on Twitch? Yeah, they'll have competition if you think about it, but not really. Because, and I'll get into this in another video if I have time to do this before I clock in from lunch. But not a lot of people have this Pursuit channel, so yeah, SmackDown won't have too much competition. But I would say that if there is a competition between the two shows, it'll be only for about a month, at least about 5 to 6 weeks before WWE moves SmackDown over to Fox. That's really going to be about it. I mean, the only competition you'll see between the two shows, if AEW, All Elite Wrestling, gets this product out in time for the fall season, the only thing you're going to see competition-wise will be a month's worth, and that's about it. Because then AEW will be out on its own, and being on its own without any rival promotion to compete against, that's going to be the true testing point for them. And this is going to be a true testing point for them come Tuesday nights on TNT, if they end up getting TNT, which I think is the most likely direction, the most likely channel they would go on. If you go off the history of Nitro being a successful show for Turner Network Television. So honestly, in my opinion, I believe that they are going to get a deal done with Time Warner. And in my opinion, I think out of the two channels, they're going to go with TNT because of the reputation and the success it's had in the past with wrestling in primetime. And that's another thing too. Don't worry about the show being late at night or anything. It's going to be in prime time. They know that the majority of the audience they're going to want is during the primetime hours. So expect the show on Tuesday Night Dynamite, if that's the show. Expect that Tuesday night show to run from 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific to 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Expect that. Expect that to happen. And maybe expect them to take a page out of WCW's book and decide maybe to go the route that they did, and that's have AEW live as it happens, even for those on the West Coast, but in addition have a replay of AEW's broadcast of their show following the live feed, so those that don't see the live feed get to see it on replay or something like that. So don't be surprised if they go that route either, just to try to difference themselves from anybody else. But really, that's all I'm going to say on it right now. Again, I honestly believe that they're going to get a deal done. In my opinion, the most likely channel out of the two main Turner channels that are going to get AEW's TNT. And I also believe they're going to probably go for an 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific and Eastern time slot, prime time. And they might even, don't be surprised if this gets announced, they might even try to do what WCW did back in the day with Nitro, and that's go live for the entire country. So like, let's say you live on the East Coast and it comes on live at 8 p.m., then it's going to be coming on then it'll be coming on live at 5 p.m. on the West Coast. That's what I've got a feeling they may make that kind of announcement. Maybe not at the rally, but soon afterwards. I wouldn't be surprised. So, but those are just my thoughts on AEW. Becoming, joining or going, partnering with Time Warner to get their show on the air. Let me know what you guys think about it. What are your guys' thoughts on my opinion on where I think it may land between the two main the main two Time Warner shows? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say on it. And really, that's all I can say. Before I do go, I know some of you might point out the CW as a big broadcast syndicated station that they may choose as well. That might happen too, but again, we'll have to wait and see. I believe either way, they're going to go with back-to-back airings of the show. One being live, which happens live across the entire country as it happens, as well as a repeat for those that don't get to see it live, especially if they live on the West Coast and stuff. So, but we'll just have to wait and see. My main opinion is I think they're going to go with TNT as the likely home for the AEW primetime show. So let me know what you guys think down below, though. Comment if you like, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I am out.